This is Slam Pigs Podcast.
Sunday night, January the 28th, 2017, the Royal Rumble post show. Supposed to be our four-man booth, but I know I want to go ahead and apologize off the bat. We promoted this as Eric Amard coming on for a while, and Eric has gone missing. If anyone's seen Eric Amard, put him on a milk cart and we send it out.
Piece of shit.
Will you be serious? Try to have Eric back.
You should.
Try to have Eric back.
It's crap.
But we still got, from last night, the man's pulling double duty for us, Michael. You haven't talked to him in a while. I just had him on the NXT post show last night, which you didn't catch.
I did catch it.
Did you catch it?
Yep.
How did you watch it?
I listened to it.
You listened to it?
I sure
Is this
did.
like 1995 and like the pay-per-view channel when it's fuzzy and you're trying to watch the movies?
No, I sure listened to the whole show that you had last night, and I'm not impressed.
Well, anyway, I thought we did a hell of a job last night with
I'm
Logan Myers, whatever his gimmick is this week. Welcome back, my man. Hot off the heels NXT. We had high expectations going into this. Real quick, welcome, Logan.
It's good to be back on double duty, and it's good to hear from Michael.
Is it? I would see if I were you, I'd be like, I would not be happy to hear from Michael at all. The way he talks to you and treats you, but maybe that's just me. You guys have always had a love-hate relationship.
I'm to the point where I'm just gonna ignore what Michael says. If he says something nice, then I'll gladly appreciate it. But if he says anything mean or anything like that, he's just he's probably just drunk. That's all.
Before we get to anything this week, real quick, follow me on Twitter at the Big TMD, Michael at Mike the Slam Pig. Get all that plug shit out of the way. The night started off so good, Michael. It feels like we were at a really good party all night. Then there was a bad fight and the cops came, and the night ended up sucking. That's how this pay-per-view feels to me, because it totally brought down the evening. The Royal Rumble match itself, I would say, in just the lackluster way it was booked. This was like the epitome of lackluster. You got one surprise, which was Ty Dillinger, which isn't setting the world on fire with that gimmick anytime. I mean, it's over, but it's not world title type guy. We thought for sure there were going to be 3 or 4 guys. I mean, you've had talk about Kenny Omega, Kurt Angle, Rey Mysterio, Samoa Joe, Finn Balor. That's 5 fucking guys. None of them guys were in this match.
None!
So we're going to start at the end.
Okay, that's good. That's quite...
This whole fucking Royal Rumble match.
The studio's rumbling when you did that.
Sucked fucking dick. This whole Royal Rumble match. You took a great card. Could have been possibly... You could have been possibly called the greatest card of the year, and you ruined it with one fucking match.
One entrant, I would say, really.
I don't even think it was ruined with one entrant. It was ruined by how they booked the Royal Rumble match. This Rumble match was possibly one of the worst Rumble matches I've ever seen in my life. I'm not exaggerating.
How many times have we said that over the past 3 or 4 years about
you
the
can
Rumble?
say it as much as you want.
They just can't help it. They just can't help but blow the Roman Reigns load.
It's just even more.
They just can't help it.
It's just even more overdone by how they booked something at the end of a show that was so good.
It was this
show was phenomenal.
It was solid. This show was.
Oh my god! You could have made
even the women match surprised me. It was much better than I thought it was.
You could have made this show the best show of the year in January, and that's sad.
Well, let's get right to it. You're the winner of the 2017 Royal Rumble. For those that don't know, I'm pretty sure you know. Randy Orton. I do know when you showed up at my house tonight, Michael, that was one of the first things out of your mouth. You heard it was Orton, and you hope it wasn't going to be Orton. So you did not get your wish in this match. Logan, it could have been worse. It could have been much worse. The winner. But I know, as much as we're hearing, let's get it right off the bat. Let's get it out of our systems before we all talk about it all night. How many times are we going to hear it's a new era? It's a new era. It's a new fucking era. Where is it? Because now the main event, if anything can happen at Elimination Chamber, but as of right now, your main event on SmackDown is Orton and Cena for the title. 2009. That was the main event for a title. Never at a Mania, but that's an 8-year feud. I don't get it. I just don't, even if the storyline is to go against Bray, I don't get it. I don't get why. Logan, I'm just at a loss for words. And this happens every year at the Rumble, and I don't know why I expect anything different. It's like I keep getting let down again by the same girl or something. I never learned my lesson with that girl. The Royal Rumble match is quickly losing its number one spot as my favorite pay-per-view because I know at the end of the day, I'm going to be disappointed. It just always happens. Because they can't fucking help themselves with Roman Reigns. They don't get it. Logan, go ahead, man, because I need a breather after that.
It's sad that number 30, Roman Reigns, comes out and he starts eliminating everybody. I'm not gonna lie, my brother was in here watching it with me. He goes to hell off. It's too repetitive. It's too predictable. Roman Reigns is just. They need to stop.
Why is he there?
Yeah.
Exactly.
I said this.
Why is he number 30?
I said this off air before Logan. We called you or whatever. If I was still a kid, you know how when you're a kid, it still kind of has that real feel to it, like with rankings and logic more so than when you totally get how a work is. If I was a kid and a Roman Reigns fans, I would totally be looking at it as Roman Reigns getting special treatment. In like a realistic way, that's what it was. Like, why wouldn't AJ Styles be in the match then if you're going to give a champ another shot? If the outcome at WrestleMania is Reigns and Taker, after what we've seen tonight, which it may be, the only way to make that salvageable and entertaining and good and make sense is if Reigns goes full heel by the end of that program. Guys, I mean, what do you think?
Happen. It'll just be boring. It will be Roman Reigns as his tweener self, which is totally unentertaining. If we haven't figured that out by now, Roman Reigns equals crap.
He's good in the ring for what he is.
When?
But on the mic, he falls completely flat. He has no personality. I swear to God.
It's a flat line.
It is a flat line. It is like Canyon's finisher, the flat line.
He went from being in the match of the night to being the crap of the night.
I mean, like I said, it could have been much worse. It could have been Roman Reigns winning. Let's go down the whole Rumble match real quick, guys. Like we said at the top of the show, it's so paint by numbers basic. You had, I mean, the number 1 and 2 were Big Cass and Jericho, Michael, which was okay. That's fine. You were surprised Jericho was out at 2. After Kevin Owens, which we'll talk about later, retained, I figured there was a good possibility Jericho was going to win this thing. I could see that happening. My pick at the top, real quick, guys, everyone's pick. Michael's was Finn Balor. Logan, I think last night.
Wasn't even in it.
Yeah. Last night, Logan, you said Samoa Joe was your pick, right? Your guy.
Wasn't even in it.
Once again. And my pick was Sami Zayn, who was in it and lasted a while. He did good. Good little showing for Sami, but, not quite. Michael, where do you want to go with the Rumble match? I mean, it's a lot to talk about what happened.
Like I said, this Rumble for me
had umbrellas.
Was so disappointing for the end.
A lot of guys you weren't happy to see in it. Cesaro and Sheamus, I know you weren't thrilled about being in that match.
If you're gonna waste spots, can you at least give them to somebody that's gonna be believable to maybe win it?
Xavier Woods.
I just don't understand why you could not give Samoa Joe or Finn Balor a spot in this Rumble.
Balor, I guess, is more understandable because no one knows if he's healed. Joe, it's head scratcher. It's complete. We even said it last night, Logan, when they showed him in the crowd. He was a lock. So now we look dumb, But I'm just saying, who wouldn't have thought Joe would be in the Rumble tonight? Honestly, let's be real. Everyone thought that. Maybe that's why they didn't do it, but that is not how you book. You got to give the fans some kind of, I don't know, a change in the wind. You can't just keep doing the same thing.
What's your storyline for Raw?
Owens is your champion. Now I guess it's up in the air as far as that story because Reigns is he's going to be in a program with Strowman going up to WrestleMania. That's where I see that going. He's going to work Strowman in a program in February, and then he gets to Taker at Mania if they're going this route.
No, he gets Strowman at WrestleMania.
You know, as long as they keep him away from the main event of Mania and the fucking belt, I really can't complain about Undertaker and Roman at Mania. I really can't. Because honestly, I'm not one of those guys either that hold on to hope about. I don't want to see Undertaker in too many more WrestleManias myself, but that's just me.
My thing is, I think it's pretty obvious you're going to see Roman and Braun Strowman. You're going to see Roman versus Strowman.
Ryman didn't mean
Yeah,
it.
I didn't think it would be that simple until I said it out loud.
Yeah.
But that's what you're going to get. Roman, Strowman, Mania.
And I don't know if you guys noticed or not, but Roman Reigns straight up said after he eliminated The Undertaker, "This is my yard now."
I did catch that.
That was a backyard possibility that you could see Roman and The Undertaker, but I think after the Royal Rumble, there's no reason why you could ever think that Roman and The Undertaker would cross paths.
It's whatever. But let's talk about what else happened in the Rumble match. You did have an umbrella, like I said, Jack Gallagher, which was that I like that part of the Rumble. We did a little Mary Poppins fly with me on an umbrella.
Yeah, he was number
Rumble
5.
match needs a comedy
We
spot
had-
every year. It does. It's part of what makes the Rumble work because it appeals to so many different kinds of types of wrestling. There's not a whole lot to talk about, though, is there, guys? About the actual match, nothing really happened except for Goldberg tossing out Brock like a sack of shit again, making him look completely weak. I will give credit to how they made Brock look, but you knew that was going to happen. Brock always does that. It's Brock fucking Lesnar. And then you had Taker throwing out Goldberg, which, whatever. Logan, what'd you come away? What is your grade for the Rumble match this year, Logan?
The only reason I would even give it a D is because of the spots where Lesnar got eliminated and then Goldberg got eliminated. That's the only reason.
Yeah.
But we can also come off as saying something that happened during the Rumble, and I can mention this now, is the Luke Harper Bray Wyatt thing that happened during the Rumble.
Did they just split up the Wyatts? Like with Harper and Bray officially? And do you think that's what's going to be? That was Orton's plan all along. He's going to turn on Bray, and he's going to, like, he totally played him. Like, he made your own family split up. He tricked him into, he doesn't even have his own Wyatt family to phone. I could see them doing that,
And it works.
Michael, we got a D from Logan. Can I say F? Is R a grade for retarded? Because I don't know.
That's definitely how
retarded booking on this.
That's how I could and would grade this Rumble.
But what will you grade this Rumble?
It's definitely the lowest I could low. Randy Orton is your Royal Rumble winner. He's in your secondary storyline on SmackDown, and he is your Royal Rumble winner.
Yep.
This is somebody that was, I guess, Vegas-wise, was one of the odds-on favorites to win it because evidently somebody in Vegas is friends with Vince or whomever is making these decisions. It made no fucking sense to me.
Yeah, I can't argue with you. I cannot argue with you.
Even if Bray's going to win this title at the Elimination Chamber, it still makes no fucking sense.
Well, for the first time ever on this show, I'm giving a match an F. I thought this was a fail. This was a complete fail. How the entire thing pretty much was booked. The lackluster feel and the incredibly huge fuck you to your hardcore fans that pay for this shit. Only the hardcores are buying this shit. The casual fans are getting the free trials. With Roman Reigns at number 30. You could even say it was a big of a fuck you to put Enzo Amore at such a late number to get everyone so excited. That was a big fuck. And what if kicking the nuts to Enzo Amore having that dreaded Rey Mysterio spot where you come out and get the shit booed out of you when you're not meant to? He got booed a little bit when he first came out, but God, he got destroyed by Brock Lesnar. Got to mention that part. Just a waste of Yeah, there it is. Rumble match this year. Once again, another year, another Rumble match with a shit taste left in our mouths.
Such a good card that got ruined.
We want to talk about the good to get off the bad. This
Can we please? Because the
AJ Styles versus John Cena, and probably, I would say, the best match they've ever had. Even better than SummerSlam. I thought it was better than SummerSlam. Of course, I'm not thrilled about Cena tying Flair's record. I know records are meant to be broken. Good match. I will give this match a solid A minus. I liked it. I didn't like the, obviously it was Cena or whatever tying the record. But other than that, if it would have been any other like John Cena match, I would have been okay with the outcome. But to tie Ric Flair's record, that keeps it from being an A or an A plus for me. But it's still an A minus. Good match, Michael.
This match was good, but I guess I'm still a little angry.
You look like you're passing out, like falling asleep.
I'm not falling asleep.
Michael's lit this week. He's had a bunch of the Rumble always is your favorite pay-per-view of the year, usually.
I was so excited.
We got lit.
I was so excited about this
crash and burn
pay-per-view,
right
and I just got totally disappointed in how it was presented. And it's very tough for me to get over how it was booked WWE wise.
Yeah.
So it's just to the point with me where, I mean, I even made this comment to Travis, like, oh, this could be card of the year until the Rumble match started. Once that Rumble match started, totally ruined the whole pay-per-view for me. And it's tough to just judge something on one match, but this Rumble was totally judged for me on one match, which was the Rumble match itself. It took an A minus card, and that's just being totally East German wise. That's totally being picky as fuck. And it made an A minus card turn into a B plus card because of the Rumble match itself. The Rumble match itself just made this whole card.
The thing about a Rumble match, you can never really determine if it's going to be bad until about 12th, 13th. If the guys just keep piling up and it's like nothing's happening. It was just a case of nothing has been happening.
It was crap. You just took a guy who's in one of your secondary storylines on SmackDown and made him your Royal Rumble winner because your plan is for Bray Wyatt to win the title at Elimination Chamber to make that match more self-sufficient.
Yeah.
Which to me just says, hello, I'm a fucking idiot.
I guess, I mean, if we're back on the Rumble match, what this match screamed to me is such a lack of top talent, guys. And the lack of effort to make any new stars. They need to stop this every year. Every fucking part-timer relying on the part-timers.
You just took the guy that is the most over in your company, who was your champion, and made him not your champion anymore, to put over two guys. One guy who has not been a main event talent.
Are you talking about AJ Styles?
I'm talking about Randy Orton.
Okay.
The guy who won the Rumble. Okay. One guy who has not been a main event talent in at least 2-3 years. And you put him in your main event for your championship. And what you're doing is setting it up for another guy who has not won a WrestleMania match in...
forever.
Ever
possible. I don't think he's ever won a match at WrestleMania. Bray Wyatt has never won a match, and that could be your title match.
That's your main event.
I get it, man. Yeah, definitely. Let's move the train along. It's a post show. It's not a full Slam Pigs this time because we're just not in the spirit. They took the spirit out of the show, Michael. Goddamn WWE.
My spirit is gone.
That was so depressing.
It's gone.
Let's pick it up though. This AJ Styles match, it was good. It was a good AJ Styles match, the best I've ever seen them have. I really liked it. Logan, what did you think of the AJ Styles John Cena match?
I thought it was actually good. You actually saw some different moves again that John Cena is bringing to the table, and you can tell that John Cena is becoming more of that tweener guy in the
Yeah.
company, like, and that's a good thing because I mean, it also brings out more of a different character for John Cena, and I don't know, just a tad bit makes it seem like John Cena's not so boring.
Yeah.
But I agree with Michael with the whole Rumble thing. You're you're questioning why is Orton winning the Rumble? Why didn't AJ Styles come out in the Rumble and win it? I mean, think about that. You could have had that, and I don't even think SmackDown needed a Royal Rumble winner because they have that Elimination Chamber coming up.
They don't.
Yeah. They
Anything's
did it.
possible.
It's so stupid. It's just gonna hot shot and flip flop the title around.
I'd
Valuable
much rather
feedback,
see
Michael.
Chris Jericho win it.
That sounds better. Yeah, I would have been okay with Jericho. Michael, would have Jericho been suitable winner for you? Would have made it a little less soft in the blow that we didn't get any Balor or Joe.
With the way they booked it, no.
Is that really what it is? Like, if we would have got Balor or Joe in this Rumble and Reigns still came out at 30, would we be as pissed? It's just the fact that we got nothing except Ty Dillinger is like a carrot to dangle in front of the horse's face, basically. You know? I think that's more what it is. There was just nothing to write home about in this Rumble. It was so lackluster. And the winner is such a lackluster, generic type winner, and I think that's what killed it. Roman Reigns is like the stake through the heart at the end of the day.
But see, that's the reason why I picked Samoa Joe to win the Rumble. Because nobody would think that Samoa Joe will debut in the Rumble and win it.
And they've been promoting this Rumble so much with the tag, Remember the Rumble. You're going to remember. You're going to fucking remember this Rumble. And this is going to go down as one of the most unmemorable Rumbles I can think of. Let's be real. I think it will. I don't know.
See, that's what ruined it, with Samoa Joe not coming out and winning the Rumble or even being in the Rumble. Because Cena winning the championship against AJ Styles, and this is why I brought up the Royal Rumble again, is because having Samoa Joe win, the rumor that's been going around is that they wanted to bring Samoa Joe to the main roster and push him into a main event match. There you have it, Cena and Samoa Joe. Now it seems.
As soon as Cena won the title tonight, I was like, Samoa Joe. If it's SmackDown, it's got to be Samoa Joe. That would be a good main event, title match at WrestleMania. It really would.
But now that you have Orton winning the Rumble, could we see Samoa Joe debuting at the Elimination Chamber and costing Cena?
I could see that. And then you could still get that match. I can also see Samoa Joe coming out on SmackDown this Tuesday or Raw tomorrow night, whatever brand they put him on. I think we're going to get Joe tomorrow, one day this week, Monday or Tuesday. They'd have to. They can't disappoint everyone so much. They have 2 more days left in San Antonio with shows. Obviously Joe's still there. Guys are still going to be around. There's guys they won't send home because they're going to try to maybe have a surprise on one of these 2 fucking shows. One is 3 hours. Throw the fans a goddamn bone. You always claim it's WrestleMania season. We need to be excited. You'll be excited. Okay, give us a reason. And where is it? The Rumble, like said at the top of the show, once again was one of my favorite and Michael's favorite pay-per-views of the year, and they squandered it again, man. But the title match was good. I'd give it a solid, like I said, an A-.
I would give it an A because of what John Cena brought to the table. We saw more difference in Cena than we've seen in the past, and I think that's what helped the match. We didn't need the same old Cena. We needed something different, and I think that's why it made this match better than what we had at SummerSlam.
Yeah, most definitely. I think Cena got not that bad of a reaction as I thought he would get after tying the record. I mean, Cena isn't getting as bad. He's not getting. They're not great. They're still very divided. But I think when he first comes out, it's the worst as far as the Cena haters. And then I think, in my opinion, because Cena has so much more charisma than Roman Reigns, he wins a good part of the crowd over in a way. It's certain matches, certain angles. Cena just has that about him. Say what you want about the man, and Roman Reigns doesn't have that. Obviously, Roman Reigns cannot win anyone over for shit. It seems like that isn't a woman or a that's just attracted to Roman's long, beautiful locks or whatever they say about him. People, you have your female fan base that's obsessed about certain guys, but other than that, not a lot of male vocal chants for Roman Reigns anytime soon. I hear in any crowd.
And I think they've pushed Roman Reigns down everyone's throat more than they even threw John Cena down the fans' throats.
See, you got to
And
think.
that's what hurts too.
You got to think as far as booking wise backstage. Triple H gets it. He sees it. Do you think Vince just doesn't get it as far as Reigns? If Vince is still pulling those strings at the end of the day, which I would have to say he would be. He's alive. I think if there's a breath in Vince's body, he's going to have a big say in what goes on.
I agree.
Yeah. Michael has stepped out for a second. He needs time to recuperate. He's really upset and has really really gotten really lit this week. So it's been a train wreck of a pay per view to end it. Hopefully we can pick the show up. The other title match was, speaking of Roman Reigns, say what you want. This was the best match him and Kevin Owens have ever had. Logan, what did you think about this whole Universal title match for what it was?
I don't think really you can say it was Roman Reigns. I think Kevin Owens kind of like carried that match, in my opinion, because Kevin Owens is, Travis, that I'm one of the biggest fans of Kevin Owens, and I think this feud needed something. At the end of that match, when Braun Strowman came out and he took out Reigns, I was thinking Reigns would come in the Royal Rumble and eliminate Strowman, but it did not happen.
Yeah. Exactly.
So
Strowman was tossed out so, I don't know, Baron Corbin, really? I don't get it. I mean, I guess I get it in a way. Yeah, it was a shocker moment. Owens, I thought, first of all, that pyramid of chairs on the outside, that was a sick spot that I don't suggest any professional wrestler try doing. Kevin Owens is out of his mind for risking his career because he landed nasty on those chairs, Logan.
He did. And it was just like one of them wow moments, like it could have been even worse than what it was.
It was.
It was a big spot. It was a questionable spot. It was a risky spot. And they pulled it off somehow, some way. And I'm just glad that Kevin Owens retained.
I was surprised. I really was.
But then again, I think I know why Roman Reigns didn't need the belt. He don't need the belt going into Mania. No. He doesn't. Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho, if this feud's going to continue, which we all know it's probably going to continue at Mania, and it's going to happen. They're going to pull the trigger. It needs the belt. I think it does need the belt. A lot of people said on social media it didn't need the belt, but I think it does, because really that's part of the reason why they're together is because, that championship is what they've been fighting for. Yeah. And defending for months.
And that goes back to so many decades of professional wrestling. The best feuds have always been for a belt. Let's be real. Very few I can think of are up there. Pillman and Austin was an excellent angle that didn't need a belt. I don't think they needed, because they had history, and they were both so good. But I could have definitely seen them having a feud for a belt if Pillman didn't pass away. I think it does need a belt too. I think it adds, if they're going to pull the trigger, it's going to be that cherry on the, and maybe the icing too on the cake, because cake without icing sucks. So I agree.
Because in my opinion, they've continued this for months about the Universal Championship with KO holding it,
like forever at this point.
Pulling the trigger and taking it off of him. It will, to me, it will take the prestige away from the belt, because the belt's been everything to Kevin Owens, and just to take that off of him, just to feud with Jericho without the belt, it makes no sense.
Michael, welcome back to the studio. Oh, you have to head out for the evening?
Just for right now. I got shit to deal with.
Oh, you got to head out?
I'll be right back.
Okay, Michael is stepping out. So I don't know what's going on. Let's go on with the Universal Title match. Yeah, I guess what grade would you give this coming out of it, Logan?
I would give it a B. I mean, say what you want about Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns. The feud didn't really, in my opinion, the feud wasn't that good. But the match was good at the end, and I think everyone's happy that Kevin Owens walked out. Obviously, everyone's happy that KO walked out
Yeah.
as the champion.
Kevin Owens got a great reaction. Roman Reigns did not. As you, I want to apologize to all the listeners this week. This show has been total chaos. Just I guess in the way the booking came out of it or whatever. So all apologies. Hopefully next week the screws will be tighter and the show will be running a little smoother. I'm doing my best to keep it on the rails here. We're almost at the end of the card anyway. The show opened up with a match that I wasn't overly enthusiastic because I thought the build was generic. But it was Bayley and Charlotte for the women's title. I can hear Michael puking in my bathroom upstairs. Like I said, Michael has had a lot to drink. But yeah, let's keep it moving. Charlotte and Bayley, Logan. This show's going to go down in the books. I'm telling you. This has been an episode.
Charlotte and Bayley, to me, equals money signs, dollar signs. And I mean, this feud, it was just tonight was just a little sample of what these two women can pull off in the future, which I know the rumor is to add Sasha Banks and Nia Jax, make it a fatal four-way at WrestleMania. But these two women, I think this feud could be better than what Sasha Banks and Charlotte was. And I know a lot of people on social media actually they criticize Bayley and saying that Bayley doesn't deserve to be there right now, and I think they're wrong. I think if you don't want to push, how many women do we have on Raw that you can really throw into the championship?
Yeah, I agree. This match was better than I thought it was going to be because for some reason Bayley on the main roster has fallen flat. But this was a good match, and I thought it was a good way to start the show. It was really interesting to me that the tag team titles, which we haven't brought up, they changed hands. The Club are the new tag team champions on Raw. That was on the pre-show at like 5:30, really fucking early. And of course, you had Sasha Banks get pretty much squashed. Did you catch that by Nia Jax, Logan?
Yes, Nia Jax did squash her. It looked like a freaking spider destroyed a little ant.
It was something. Cue squash sound effect. I don't know what that sound effect would be in post editing. Anyway, yeah, a lot of wrestling today. Started early, Logan, like I said.
But like you said, you mentioned that the Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson
Club, yes,
defeated Cesaro and Sheamus, and it was actually a really entertaining match. I thought that it shouldn't have been on the pre-show. I think they could have easily done something different, and
instead of all those awful KFC commercials with like Enzo and Cass, they're terrible. Like they could have given them the match instead of that shit. But I know, they got to pay the bills or whatever.
Yeah, I think it should have been on the main card, and I think was it too early to give up on Cesaro and Sheamus as a tag team and holding the belts? Was it too soon? I think it was too soon, in my opinion. I think they could have pulled the trigger and changed the titles over to Luke Gallows.
I don't know if it's more that it was. I don't know. Excuse me. If it was more that it was too soon, it's just not. They waited too long to put on the club. You know what I mean? Feels like the club should have had those belts last fall.
Yeah, they should have. But then again, you push this whole Cesaro and Sheamus trying to team up, which, in my opinion, the two, I hope they don't break up after what happened during the Rumble, but I think Cesaro and Sheamus
I think it's done.
Was starting to get to me.
Yeah, me too. I gotta admit, it was getting to me too, but I think it's done, unfortunately. I think this was the split.
And I hate it. I think it's stupid. I think that tag team should continue. Because I think they built really good chemistry. In my opinion, they were better as a tag team
You got to play devil's
The chemistry
advocate.
was better as a tag team.
Yeah, I agree, but you got to admit, you got to play devil's advocate and call each of us out because I'm sure you were like me when they first put them together. You were kind of pissed. You're like, why is Cesaro not getting a singles push? Because he was so over with the James Bond gimmick. So maybe we're kind of hypocrites for complaining they're splitting them up now. Because I'm calling myself
I
out
mean,
too because I wasn't thrilled when they first
I
did
do
it.
agree that Cesaro should have been pushed as a singles competitor for the championship, but then again, this tag team worked, and I think this tag team worked better than him and Tyson Kidd.
I agree. I agree on that. I wasn't a huge. I mean, that team wasn't awful, but it was kind of a makeshift team that I guess they did the best they could. Cesaro and Sheamus, it seems like they took it to another level. Like they really went with it. They really tried to take shit they were handed and make it into chicken salad instead of chicken shit. I agree.
And they pulled it off. And I think that, like I said, I think the chemistry as a tag team was better than the chemistry facing each other. And when you get that kind of chemistry, you shouldn't pull the trigger and get rid of it. It's like when the New Day was really hot and the gimmick was so fresh and the gimmick was so good and the crowd was over. They were over with the crowd. It was too soon to just pull the trigger and say, let's give up on them. Let's break them up. Now they're stale. I think the New Day's stale. With this tag team division, I think need to keep Sheamus and Cesaro together because what other tag team is there?
Yeah, on Raw. I mean, I see it. Enzo and Cass getting a shot at the belts at Mania. I see the club
Yeah,
holding those belts. I think that's going to be the payoff with that as far as the tag belts on Raw through Mania season. I mean, why wouldn't they? They're so over, you know.
but there's so many other tag teams like on SmackDown. There's so many tag teams that you can like having
Bring over.
Rhino and Heath Slater together.
Right.
It works, and you should. I think they should keep them together because you need
Well, they
you
even
need more
teased a
tag
split of
teams.
that on Talking Smack. Did you see that a couple weeks ago or a month ago, whatever? Rhino and Heath Slater, they
Yeah,
teased it on that
they
show.
did tease. They
Yeah.
did tease it, but it didn't happen.
They've
And
just been
it's
jobbing out
sad.
for the
I think
past 2 to
Cesaro.
3 months. Ever since they lost the
I
belts,
just
they went to jobber mode.
jobber mode, and I just hope that does not happen with Cesaro and Sheamus.
Me either.
But at the end of the day, I'm sticking to what I'm saying. I think Sheamus and Cesaro should remain a tag team, and I could see them winning the tag team champions together maybe 3 or 4 times. Keep them together. Then in the future, Sheamus is starting to really, to me, he's more of a tweener now, and I think that
Yeah,
works
but I
as
think they're going
well.
to send him back to heel now with the split. I think, and unfortunately, I think we're going to get a Sheamus Cesaro match again. Again, if we
I
haven't
think
gotten
it's too
enough.
soon. I think it's too soon. I
Yeah,
think
but
Cesaro and
that's us
Sheamus.
booking it, and unfortunately, it's WWE booking it, which tonight they've proved that it can be dangerous. It can be fucking dangerous. But
That and I actually like their entrance. I'm not gonna lie.
coming away from this whole pay per view tonight, Logan leaves us all with a bad taste in our mouths. But don't go away with it, guys. All the listeners, you and I both, Logan, why we love professional wrestling in the first place, and why we're gonna watch the next show tomorrow and the next month or whatever. There's something about it that draws us in, and it's I guess it's holding on to hope at this point. It seems like, but I guess in a way this is why I love professional wrestling. But this is the doldrums, the shits, the pits of being a fan. Sometimes when they cock tease you and then they don't deliver, which they do all the time lately on these Rumble pay-per-views. So totally disappointing pay-per-view. Logan, it's been real. It's been a very, very interesting show, but I want to thank you, Michael, who is unfortunately not going to make it back for the show. He has gotten sick. Hopefully, Michael's okay. Slam Pigs podcast will be right back here next week. Everything will be back to normal, and Rumble's really take it out of us apparently. But Logan, thank you for coming on, my friend.
Well, if you guys want me on the next show, I'm available.
We'll see what's going on. We may have a possible guest lined up. Stick around for that, guys. One last time, check out Future Pro Wrestling on Facebook for Logan and all that goodness. Follow me on Twitter at TheHibikTMD. Follow Michael at Mike the Slam Pig. Check out us at Slam Pigs Podcast on Twitter. Check out the Slam Pigs Podcast Facebook group as well as HibikTMD. That's all I got this week. Honestly, I'm spent. It's been a lot of wrestling this
But
weekend.
before we go, Travis,
Okay.
what was your final grade for the Rumble?
the entire show. I
The
would
entire
go
show.
man, like I said, I would give the entire show probably a B minus, C plus, just because the first part before the Rumble match was so good, solid. Can't complain about any of it.
No, you can't, and I agree. I think a C's better. I think I'll give it a C, and it's pretty bad that we gave Takeover last night a better overall rating.
Yeah, but isn't that standard fare? The NXT shows are always so much better, but that's nothing out of the normal as far as that.
And I know we're spent, and I know we want to move on if in the show, but then again, I want to mention one more thing. Having no Seth Rollins and Triple H tonight
Is asinine.
also is a head scratcher.
Yes, it is. It's completely a head scratch. But I mean, I guess maybe if you twist it as if this was real life, why wouldn't Triple H just bar Seth Rollins from the building? He's not advertising any matches. So if they go that route with logic as to why he wasn't on the show, then it works. For me, yes, thank you, Logan. Thank all you guys for trudging through this episode. This is definitely, like I said, going to go down as... You may not remember the Rumble, but you'll remember the Rumble post show. On Slam Pigs Podcast, we'll see you guys next week. Later.
Hey, you dirty fucking pigs. Mike here from the Slam Pigs Podcast, reminding you once again to check us out on Twitter, whether it be the Slam Pigs Podcast, whether it be me at Mike the Slam Pig, or whether it be our sister show, The Reset Button. Check us out. Also, you can find us on Facebook at the Slam Pigs Podcast or The Reset Button. And as always, make sure you check us out as a whole on Hibiki TMD. Until we see you next time, oink oink.